And I realized for me, I began becoming very resentful towards my friends and my family.
For me, inadequacies display themselves in very many ways. And so you'll find me trying to go above and beyond to do certain things. Actually, all things that I do, I'll often go the extra mile just to make sure that there's a contingency plan A, B, C, D, so that if A doesn't work, then you have a fallback and all of that. So I have the fear of feeling inadequate.
I don't know what you're hiding from. I don't know what that root fear is, but I also pray that you can have friends around you who you can be with and really be, and speak your heart, and that they would listen. Hello, ladies, and welcome back to Hearth Heart. Thank you for joining in, for listening in, and for choosing to journey with us. My name is Watau Gaita, the founder of Hearth Heart, founded out of an ache in my heart to have a space where women can come together and have real conversations. So I'm really, really happy that you've joined us, and I invite you to join us in this conversation. Today, we're talking about the masks that we wear and the silence that has caused us to wear those masks, and the voice that has been for the longest time been not utilized to the best of our abilities. So karibu sana into episode 2 of Hearth and Hearth. And I am joined by 2 lovely ladies who you would not believe are new friends, but are like 2 peas in a pod. They are finishing each other's sentences already. I am so happy to have you, Liz and Jenny. Please introduce yourself, Liz, to our audience today.
I am Liz Nderito. Very, very happy to be here.
And what else about Liz would she want to share?
Oh my goodness, that is always such a hard question for me. When I'm not, the wife and the sister, the friend, the marketer. I think what I'd want to say is I'm a storyteller. I love telling stories. I love being in such spaces and really just holding space for businesses, for women especially, to really just tell their stories and document that. So yeah, that's who I am.
Storyteller Liz.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Jenny?
Jenny Ndwati. I'm a public policy specialist. I am a lover of life. I am a mom. I am a wife. I love people. And even as I say, I am a public policy specialist. It's more geared towards the love for country. I'm very passionate about Kenya, by the way. I just love to shape policy, to influence policy, to propose changes that then can get Kenya to be the Kenya we want and love.
And you forgot to say you are the guy. All of you have the guy, the person
who
you need to do you know someone? Just call Jenny. Jenny's our guy. Like, Jenny, do you know? Oh, don't worry.
Awesome.
Taken care of.
I got you.
She's got her back. So
Hey,
you
we
always
all
show
need
up,
Jenny.
So you are our person, my person. Thank you for being here. Jenny, I'm so happy. Today we are having an interesting conversation around our experiences and the masks that we have put on that have made us show up in a certain way in the spaces that we are in. Whether you're working with women in businesses or storytelling, whether you're working in government, whether I'm here doing strategy or Hearth and Hearth, they're those masks that we wear, that have made us acclimatize to a person that may or may not be who we truly are. So I want us to dig a little bit deeper into what that looks like. So I'll start with me. The mask that I've worn for the longest time is the fixer. The one who's got it together, the one who must know what needs to be done next. And when I am not that person, even the people around me are like, but why don't you know? But why didn't you do? But we asked you, so I have been a fixer or a go-to person for the longest time. And it made me show up strong or at least appear strong when a lot of the times I wasn't strong. I just needed to be strong because that was the expectation. So I don't know, what kind of masks have you been wearing?
Oh my goodness, we were having that conversation earlier
We
with Jenny.
were.
And I literally said, I think I'm also like the fixer.
Yeah.
I mean, being that firstborn daughter, I always feel like I think the mask I've worn is the person who needs to always be there for everyone. Like, I need to be there. I need to get that done, whatever that is. So, yeah, similar to yours, I guess.
Oh, the fixer.
Yeah.
As well. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jenny?
So interestingly, I wear the mask of the fixer as well. So I try and fix situations, people, emotions. But with time and as I've grown older, it's a very thin line, like I was saying to Liz earlier, between are you really a fixer? Are you an empath? Are you compassionate? And more often than not, you find yourself taking care of everyone else but yourself.
Yeah.
But also you create such an expectation. You give people a certain expectation of you.
Yeah.
Such that when they call in a favor, even when you can't, you feel like you're forced to say, I'll figure it out, I'll see what I can
Carrying
do.
the burden.
And so you carry such a burden and it weighs on you.
Yeah.
And like you rightly said, most times you really haven't got it. So
Yeah.
you say, I'll figure it out, but
Yeah.
behind the scenes, you're breaking your back, you're jumping hoops.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it's a very thin line.
Yeah.
And most fixers you'll find are actually empaths or
That's
people who are very compassionate.
That is true.
And so that's who I am.
Yeah.
And that's the label I carry.
That's interesting. So 3 fixers in a room.
I know, right?
Given the opportunity, we'll be fixing everything, our country, our
Yes.
family, our children, our friends, and everything that's broken.
Yeah.
I remember when I was, my friend used to say when we were young and full of promise. I was,
What
yeah, well, okay, I'm not that old, but
Yeah.
back, this over 20 years ago, okay? So yeah, I remember I was in town, and this is tied to something that Jenny has just said about fixers being empaths. And I love children. And a child crying, there's a way it gets to me.
Yeah.
It just makes me want to go out and figure out what's going on. Like, can you just hold the child, make them stop crying? So on this particular day, I was walking with Shiko, a dear friend of mine. We're about to get married. Not Shiko and I, of course. So we were planning for my wedding. And we were walking, it's called Standard Street in town. Maybe Liz doesn't know Standard Street.
yeah.
You know Standard
I know
You have no
Standard
clue, eh?
Street. Yeah.
So back to my point of when I was young and full of promise.
Yeah.
Okay, Standard Street, and there was this lady. It's just a mama. You can tell she's homeless, and she had a young girl. She must have been about 3 years old next to her, maybe even older, because she could speak well. And I remember this girl coming towards Shiko and I, and she's begging. And she looked hungry and emaciated. And I was like, oh, yeah. And it just tugged at me, because me and children. And then, so I said, okay, Shiko, what do we do? So I told Shiko, okay, I don't have money. And even if we give her money, who are we giving?
Yeah.
So we crossed over. There used to be a stairs. I don't know if the stairs is still there. But there was a stairs just across. We went in, got chips, soda, just some food for lunch for this girl. Then we crossed back. And I came and I gave her. And I told the girl, just wait there for me in Swahili. Ningoje tu nakuja. As I was giving her the food, this woman who was sitting in a corner there watching this girl begging, comes, snatches the food out of her hand.
Oh my gosh.
And literally snatches, tears the bag. So the chips are on the ground, slaps this girl. Hey, and then she turns to me with such anger. And she's like, nani amekwambia utupatie chakula? Who said you give us food? I said, we want money. Muulize akupatie pesa.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, no, but she's hungry. And I'm telling Shiko, anyway, needless to say, long story short, I broke into tears and I just wept because this girl is not crying. This woman has gone away with the food. She's calling us name, insulting us for feeding her. And I thought we were doing good.
Yeah.
And the people are passing by, you know, and the Kenyans are just passing and
Yeah.
looking and thinking, okay,
Yeah.
you know, what's going on
Yeah.
there? I was so broken. And I remember walking to, back then, Nyayo House used to be the place where they have children's services. And I went there and I reported. I mean, I told Shiko, no, we're not leaving this one behind. We have to go and do something about it. So we went and reported and said, oh, you know, we found a lady there. And I was annoyed because she did not respond with the same deep anger, but because she was so used to it. She's just like, oh, but this is normal. In fact, that child has probably been hired. She's at work. She's been hired.
Wow.
Her mother has hired her out for the day. They're going to split the money with whoever the lady was. And that's just what Nairobi is. But she came with me. She told me, show me where you found them. But by the time we go and back, she was not there, you know. So that mask of trying to fix and carrying out, see women with children along the road. And I'm like, just give them tempo, etc. But to tell you the truth, after a little while, that mask got so heavy because the expectation is I must do something.
You must,
I must fix, I must carry, I must show up. To your point, people just expect you to show up in a certain way. So I don't know if your masks have ever gotten heavy and you felt the need to put them down.
Absolutely. And I realized for me, I began becoming very resentful towards my friends and my family. Because in my mind, and I've had to question myself, why am I doing this? And also come to the resolution of, if I'm going to do something, it has to come from a space where I know I'm doing this, and being okay with if anybody acknowledges it. Because I realized I struggled, in full disclosure, I struggled with always fixing, always doing things, and feeling like nobody's acknowledging it. And then feeling a lot of resentment because I realize I'm always the one who's doing something. And I'll give you this analogy. I don't have a sister, but you know, that running joke of how in a family of many sisters, there's always a sister who's always doing the work. Then you have the sister who's just in the middle. I mean, and then there's a sister who just sits and tells the jokes and the stories, but never does anything. And that balance has to be there where all these three sisters are okay with, I am the one who does the work, and all she does is bring the vibes. You know, and everyone is content with that. I feel for me, there's a point where the mask becomes and became too heavy for me, where I feel like, why is no one else doing something about it? Especially within the context of very close family and friends, like wondering, I mean, we're in the same family, why is so and so not doing something about it? Why do I have to always do, you know? And worse still, nobody acknowledges it.
So we are doing it because we feel compelled to, but we still want someone to acknowledge that you have done it. Interesting. And for you, Jen?
So for me, like I stated earlier, it's weighed very heavily on me, and with time, I've started to do me. So to put myself first and prioritize myself. And so I'm very big on ministry of presence. So if you need me, I will show up. But also now I do take a step back and I find other ways I can be there for you, not necessarily in the moment. If I'm in such a pressure cooker environment on other aspects of life, do I need to show up immediately? Or I could always just complete what I need to do instead of spreading myself so thin and then show up when my plate has let up a bit. If it is urgent, I will show up. So also not just being the yes lady and showing up all the time, even when I can't, and just learning that no is a complete sentence. It took me a while to get there, and I really struggled with saying no. Now I say it more often, and just also doing away with the Messiah complex of Savior. You know, my mom has 4 children. You know, it's a long day for me at work. I can call, check on her. And one of my other siblings can't show up and help mom and attend to mom. Then I will show up when I am able to. So that also I tend to my family, I tend to my job, I tend to other urgent needs that are there. So it's something I've struggled with, but I finally got to the realization that it is okay.
Yeah.
And it is okay on a Saturday to say, hey, I can't make that to rush you. I can't make that wedding. Today I need to find myself. And one of the things I actually did was I pick one day in the week, preferably Fridays, where if I don't have a physical meeting, I don't leave the house.
Okay.
So after I do breakfast with the kids, they're off to school, I just sit. If I have urgent tasks, I get them out of the way and I just think, think. I realized I wasn't getting time to sit and think and process things, but it's also part of self-care.
Yes.
So that you're not just reacting to stuff and you're getting time to find yourself, listen to yourself, think through stuff.
Sit with yourself.
Sit with yourself. Call yourself to a meeting and
Yeah.
say, is unpacking decisions.
Yes.
The other thing with fixers is that we don't get time to sit and just marinate on issues and is that the best way to move forward? As soon as someone tells you they have a need, you have a solution.
Yep.
But
That's true.
finding time even for yourself allows you time to say, was that the best approach? How will this affect
Right.
everyone who's in the picture? What's the best way to go about this? So
Yeah.
I see it as a win-win. And the repercussions of that, if you will, is that people around you who are used to the fixer don't necessarily take it
Of course.
in the spirit it's intended. They're like, oh, Jenny has been too busy. And very recently, a few friends of mine have complained, we can't reach you during the week.
Yeah.
And I've had to tell them, guys, I'm in a season where my career is so crazy.
Yeah.
So if you don't reach me during the week, and I always respond and say, could you text? If urgent, could you kindly text? So I'm okay with just explaining it and saying, look, I'm not in a space to speak to you, but I will find you. And if it's urgent, text. If I need to walk out of a meeting, I will do that. So also just learning to prioritize things. And
Yeah. That is, it takes a lot of courage,
It does.
especially when you
I'm
have
still
taught
learning.
people.
I'm still learning.
You're still learning. You're learning
Yeah.
from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes courage because then you have taught them
Yes.
to have an expectation.
Yes.
Now we are saying, no, not all the time, in every way, in every manner. I'm not going to have to rush, and that takes a lot of. It's brave. You're courageous. You're also very self-aware around how many balls you can balance.
Yeah.
You know, and speaking to that, the thing I always tell myself is that I think we've always said, you can never have a sort of a work-life balance.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to do
Yes.
that. But I always say that you also have to get to a point in which you can determine which ball you're putting down and say, I am holding 3 balls. I can only, or attempting to, because you literally can't be able to hold the balls, but I am attempting to hold this number of balls. How many of them can I consciously put down so that I am not dropping them, they're not breaking, and then I'm going to go forward with these ones and be cognizant that I'll have to come back. And pick this other 2, and in between this consequence for either for proceeding with the 2, for putting the 2 down. But it allows you the space to actually be able to be in control. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense,
Yeah, it
right?
does, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
without feeling
totally.
like you're losing it. But when we talk about control, the reason, and I always feel like there's an underlying reason as to how we show up. And we have spoken about fixers, but there are many masks that women will wear. You know, they are the ones, the therapist, the one who always wants to fix everybody. They want to sit down and listen to your problems. You're always keen to resolve, there's a mother because you mother everyone, not just your children, your husband,
your friends.
So I don't know what kind of labels you carry, but it's not, they're beyond fixers, they're beyond therapists, they are beyond the one, the guy, So even as we talk about this, I would love for you to think about what are those labels that you're carrying yourself, and also what's the underlying root? What is that thing that makes you wear that mask? And I'll give you an example. My underlying, I don't want to call it a challenge. I think my underlying fear, let me use the word fear, was the fear of losing control. Yeah. So I would step in and do the things the things that I want to do at the time I want to do them, in the way that I would want to do them. So what does that tell you? There's a certain way and a certain expectation I have of myself, and I cannot drop these things. So that for me, it was a fear of losing control, of allowing other people to just come in and say, okay, nitafanya. And I'm like, but are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Are you going to do that to my standards? And that showed up at work. That showed up in my family, even with the kids. You know, I'm like, my dear loving husband wants to help. But I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Will they be asleep at this time? Will you have done devotion? And, because there's a certain way I want to do things. So
Yeah.
I keep piling the pressure on myself because I cannot lose control. And that's one of the realizations I had last year. I was like, no. The issue is not you fixing. The issue is you allowing others to step into the space that you have refused. I'm holding it like this, because there's a certain expectation of myself, which is you cannot lose control and perfection. And perfection. So I don't know what are your fears under that mask for you, Liz?
I'd have to. I mean, I can resonate with a lot of what you're saying. I think I'd have to really think about it. But yeah, I mean, there's an element of control. And also, I mean, there's a way that I've always wanted and dreamt of my life being. And I'm in a season where I'm having to let go of that idea of what life would be. So I think for me, maybe the fear would be living up to that idea of the kind of life that I have envisioned or built for myself and the timelines,
Right.
And yeah, so I think it's pretty much been that, because I've also had a very difficult time letting go of that idea of who Liz would be at this particular season and year. So yeah, probably that fear.
Yeah.
Wow. And how does that make you feel when you sit with that feeling?
Oh my goodness. I felt like I was grieving a loss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's taken me quite... the last 2 years, I feel, have been years... I don't know whether you guys read Coming to Birth, and there was a lady called Paulina. It was one of the set books. When you watch her transform from this woman and really just become. But there was a lot of strife within herself, mostly. I think for me, it's really been scary. I felt like I've been grieving, and even the discomfort of having to sit. There's something that Johnny said about you, Fridays are your days. For me, Mondays are my days. And I chose Mondays because I realized on Sundays I'd get Sunday blues. I would be so terrified about Monday, and I'm running a business. So feeling like my business is still so young, what do I need to do? Oh my goodness, my peers are doing these things in their career. I need to run, I'm on a clock, I need to do XYZ. So I think for me it's really been scary. I've had to just go through that process of grieving that loss and having very deep conversations even with God, and accepting that element of surrender, being okay with this is where I'm at. And even just in hindsight, being so grateful for a lot of the things that have happened that were not in my plan. But when I think about it, in that mess, it's really, really been beautiful. But mostly terrified. I'll be honest. It's been, terrified. I've felt terrified and grieving that loss. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for sharing so deeply about that. Wow.
So for me, I'll say the fear is the fear of feeling inadequate. And I think that leads to the fixer, to me being the fixer, and being inadequate in the sense that if I can't do it, does it display certain inadequacies in me that I can't get it done within a specific time in the way it is required to be done? And that has led me to sometimes overdo things. So my kids will often say, Mom, you're so dramatic. But I keep drumming in them the spirit of excellence. I'm like, you must do it properly.
Right.
I'm not going to check your homework if it's not.
Yeah.
Don't bring me work I can't read. Can you read it? Does it? Like, just do things properly. Take the time to do it properly so that
Life lesson.
it's a life lesson. And yeah, so it's for me, inadequacies display themselves in very many ways. And so you'll find me trying to go above and beyond to do certain things. Actually, all things that I do, I'll often go the extra mile just to make sure there's a contingency plan A, B, C, D, so that if A doesn't work, then you have a fallback and all of that. So I have the fear of feeling inadequate.
Right.
And it's something I really need to work on. So this year I began doing something differently. So there are 5 levers I work on to work on my fear of inadequacy. So every week I'm very intentional about 5 things. I call them my 5 levers. 1, my spiritual life. Am I making enough time for devotions, even if it's just a short devotion for the day? I like to start my day like that because I feel like it grounds me. It's my true north. My second lever is family. So my boys are preteens. Their mom is boys. So I'm very big on spending time with my boys. However tired I am, I'll wake up, I'll have breakfast with them, I'll spend time with them in the evening. I like to make time for them and just see where they're at. The third one for me is work. And I feel like I'm in the prime of my career and I love it. I love what I do. I love the spaces I work in. So I love that. So every week I do a check-in on Friday. So have I met all my my tasks? Have I done what I'm supposed
With
to do?
yourself.
With myself. Wow. The fourth one for me is health, and I've become more conscious about it recently. So I try and do walks in the evening, and I've realized that they allow me to wind down, but also it's cardio. I don't want it too intense. I just want to walk and, bring myself back to just enjoying the spaces around me. And the fifth one for me is friends. I try and check in on my friends, see how they are doing. How can I serve you this week? How can I be there for you? And I've realized we are in May, and for me, it's helping me deal with my inadequacy, fear of inadequacy, because then at the end of the week, I'm like, oh, my 5 levers are good to go. And some more than others. And I'm loving it, and I hope to keep at it. It could also be an age thing where I'm like, okay, so then when all is said and done,
I'm running out of runway.
Jenny is where I want to be when I'm older. You're so organized. I love that.
So, yeah.
Very structured.
Very structured.
In our approach. I like that. And when we think about digging deeper behind our masks and beginning to put them down, I like that you're quite aware of not only what's the issue, it's the inadequacy, but also how to treat that. Because sometimes we can be aware of what it is that we are hiding, but we don't know what to do with that. You know? If for me, so mine's control, like I said earlier. So what does that mean for me? So for me, it means just allowing other people into that space to do whatever they will do it, in whichever way they will do it, and be okay with it. And celebrate them even if they don't do it that way. So I think it calls for us to not only acknowledge what the fear is, but also what do we need others to do, or what do I need to do to allow myself to put this mask down, you know? And when I think about that, the other question that I've been really thinking through is, do women allow each other to put their masks down? What happens when I come and just put my mask and say, I'm done? Do we allow each other to do that, or do we expect that you show up as a corporate mother, career, good daughter, you know, all those things that you talked about? Do we ever allow ourselves without judging them?
And so let me come in here because it's something I battle with. And I keep saying to a very good friend of mine, as women, we go through so many seasons. So there's a season where you're just trying to, okay, there's a season you're a girl, and life is just lifing, and then you get married, then those who are blessed with children get to have children, then you're in the mothering stage where you can't leave your baby. Your biggest worry is, are they breathing? That's a lot. And a lot of these women are also still working as they do all of this. You're juggling so much. You have friendships. You have families that are counting on you. You have, you're juggling so many silver balls, and you're not sure which one to let down. And so for me, I think I said this to my friend, this year I want to be more gracious towards the women in my life. And whatever season they're in, am I trying to meet them at that point and be accommodative of them, so that if they say, I can't show up for this, I'm like, it's okay. And how can we support you more? Because even in the professional lives, men support men, women support men. So you find a lot of the women are just, okay, so then what? And so for me, to your point, as women, we don't extend enough grace to each other, and it's something I keep challenging myself about. Am I extending enough grace to the women around me? Because you have no idea. And you and I have had seasons where we've had to be there for each other, and I feel like it goes such a long way when two women come together, or a group of women, and decide they want to do stuff together and be there for each other. So much can be achieved, and there's so much we can help other women pivot in whatever season of their life they are in or getting into. So we don't do enough of that, and we need to.
That's true.
We need to do that.
We do. Spanner to the works. Let me throw that spanner. And because it's been an ongoing conversation with myself and my friends as well, I've been asking myself whether I also give myself grace, and I'm able to love on myself, show up for others as I do, especially because we are fixers. We are always showing for other people, and because of that, there is the assumption that we are okay. Because I realized, like I'd said earlier, I struggled with a lot of resentment. Even in conflict, I always have to be the friend who has to initiate the conversation, So I've also realized most recently that I have to really be comfortable with being me and the space I'm in, and sit with it. So in hindsight, I think what I'm trying to say is being okay with putting my mask down and sitting with myself. Because then I'm also able to show grace to my mom. And really just, the way we keep saying, she's just but a girl. Your mom is just but a girl. It's difficult, I've realized, to see another woman and be just as a girl, if you're also not comfortable and even understand what that means.
I like that. So just accepting me for me, which is hard. It is hard because I have expectations, like you said earlier. I needed to be here somewhere doing what people are doing a lot more than I've done. So I'm like, am I okay with just being okay? Am I lagging behind? Should I be striving for more? So I think it calls for a lot of courage again to say it's okay. It's not. I'm not saying that's it. I'm done. But where I am at is okay, and I can easily put my mask down. Without fear of judgment. For me, I think the issue is, hey, how are they going to judge me? So even when I'm extending grace, I'm already thinking, I know Jenny. Jenny's going to be like, Kati, she's doing what? No. I'm calling, you don't have this friend who constantly calling you because they have an expectation of you. So I think the fear is also, how am I being judged when I don't show up? How? I've always taught them to show up, But when you talk about grace, I think that's through a different spanner.
But I think societal pressure has been placed more on girls from when you're very young. Prim and proper, you have to sit a certain way, your room has to be a certain way, you have to arrange stuff a certain way, this is expected of you as a girl. So you grow up already the pressure, the expectations that are laid on you from when you're very young are so many. And that's why we girls always say, what would my mother say? What would my mother? Whose child
my
are
mother
you?
saw me.
If
Yeah,
my
whose
mother
child are
saw
you?
me, what would
Yeah.
she? Because it's nature, nurture.
Yeah.
We are exposed to so much
That is
pressure
so
from
true.
when we are so young.
That's true.
And those of us with brothers know it's not as much pressure.
Yeah,
And
totally.
so, but it's built us.
Yeah.
It's built our character to the
Yeah.
people we are today.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting we say that because
Yeah.
it's a good thing. And I remember having a different conversation with a different group of women.
Yeah.
And that speaks to the good girl syndrome, who's well brought up. You know, when guests come in, you make sure you serve them,
Yeah.
leave space. So you're always the one who's doing good. Then one day you wake up and show up in a corporate setting.
Yeah.
Or you show up in a marriage and you continue being good. And there, people are continuing to step all over you. So the mask you're wearing there is you're a good person.
Yeah.
You don't cause strife. You know, you always see the good in everybody. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the more we carry it, the more we sit in it,
Yeah.
it shapes us in a certain way.
Yeah.
And then one day you wake up and you realize, but why is everybody either stepping on me? Why is everybody having this expectation of me? Why are people crossing into my boundaries?
Yes.
Because you're good, right?
And good girls don't get the corner office with the abstract painting. They really don't.
With abstract
That's just the and a plant at the corner,
You know, the one
and
that-
nice windows that show you the skyline of
Yeah.
Upper Hill or Westlands or Nairobi or the expressway.
Yeah.
And that's
Expressway.
just
Thanks. It depends on where you're standing. You're driving by,
Right.
Oh, and you need to be driving in a nice car on the expressway. You know,
Right.
but that's true. You know,
Well,
not to say it's not a good thing, but it also, I mean, for me, it brings up the thought of boundaries.
Yeah.
So even as we wear masks, sometimes we question. Is it because we have not drawn strong boundaries around us such that we have to be this other person for people for us to fit in or for people to see this perception?
Yeah.
So I was wondering, okay, if I have boundaries, must I still portray this person that is not me?
Yeah.
You know, for example, just looking at what you're saying, if I have boundaries around how long I can work, so that everybody knows from 6 p.m., it is me and my family.
Yes.
You know, at 9 you could call me, I could look at an email, perhaps, but I have boundaries as to how much I can work and when I can work. Not to give it as an excuse for laziness,
Yeah.
but there's a time you're protecting. The same way you protect your Fridays and your Mondays. You know, do we protect our time, our spaces, such that we're not forced to wear a mask, so that we can fit into a certain setting?
Yeah.
So what kind of boundaries would you... Let's start with...
it's minor boundary. So it's for me, it's been a change of perspective. So I realized, I was having a conversation with one of my girlfriends, and I realized she asked me something, and she asked me, like, how much do you think people know about your life? And I told them, well, I mean, they know what I've told them. And she said, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to it's been a change of perspective in terms of, because for me it's been that I want to really like get to that person the image of who I wanted to be. And I've also realized it's because also I really care too much about what people think about me and how I show up.
Right.
And then I realized it gave me a very different perspective when I had that conversation with her, because I realized people actually also living their lives. People actually don't, they're really not thinking so much about you the way you think.
Yeah,
They
that's
actually
true.
are.
That's
And they actually know what you tell them, how much, people know how much okay, let me rephrase that. They know only the much that you have
tell them.
shared with them. And so for me, it's I no longer have that imaginary, because I mean, what would say, like, imaginary haters or supporters or that audience, really. I had to like burst that bubble
Yeah.
and realize I can just do life for myself, and people don't really like care that much. and I can just be okay without having to like show up for everybody or be this good girl
Right.
or be okay. And it's Monday and I just want to watch my series and be okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not working. And yes,
And you're fine.
everyone, yeah, I'm fine.
You're fine.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I don't have to like close 5 accounts this quarter. You know, we can just service the client that we have, and it's okay. And being also okay with, I don't know, and I'm figuring it out.
I like that.
And it's okay. So for me, I don't know whether it's more of a boundary or being content with being me and my life and changing that perspective. Yeah, and give me a lot of peace, by the way.
And clarity. I think it's a clarity to know.
Clarity.
For Liz, this is what is working and this is what Liz is doing.
Yeah.
So beyond this, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think it's the clarity of who I am.
Yeah.
What am I doing? What am I going after? Where am I at in life?
Yeah.
And being content. So I would say clarity and contentment
Yeah.
would help to ease in removing that mask and allowing yourself to just be. But to you, what would you say, Jenny?
So boundaries. For me, again, is it on my critical path? What season am I in? Am I able to show up? Am I able to extend myself? To what extent? Are my 5 levers in place? So it's just, I've learned to circle back to, where is Jenny at? It's Friday. Do I really need to be there? If I do, I'll show up. So that's a way of setting boundaries. So then your friends know, hey, it's Friday, so what? Oh, it's time for my, it's time for Jenny and her boys. Is this the time to, it's working
like
hours for
that.
Jenny. What does that mean in
what does
terms
that
of what I expect of her? Is it as urgent? But also for me, my response is automatically, is it on my critical path for today or this week or this month or this season? Then
clarity.
Clarity. Then
Clarity.
if it is, by all means.
Yeah.
If it isn't, and if you need me, and it's within that, and I'm able to extend myself, I will show up.
Yeah.
So that's a way for me of setting boundaries, and it's working for me so far. So I know. I mean, life throws curveballs.
Yeah.
Because it's
like
we plan, God laughs, but
That's true.
primarily that's what I focus on.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
The boundaries, the focus. I'm
Focus.
just wondering whether it's because we are strong women that it's so much easier for us to do that. Do all women struggle? Because sometimes I get the sense that there are those who would like to, but are struggling to set those boundaries. They're struggling with the clarity.
I mean, yeah, I've struggled with setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Especially with my family.
Yeah.
Like saying those no's. I've really, really struggled with that. Yeah.
And how did your family take it when you were trying to say no?
I mean, some will take offense. Yeah, there is offense, of course. But I think, again, going back to me, it's the discomfort I felt.
Yeah.
That has been very uncomfortable for me. But I have struggled. I have struggled with like having those boundaries and being okay with them.
Yeah.
I
remember when I was one of my first earlier careers, it was a very competitive, charging, high energy organization. And there was a certain expectation about how you should show up, all of you. So you needed to be, full gung-ho, with it. It didn't matter what your tendency was, character-wise, but you just had to be this person who's a go-getter. And you'd sit in those meetings and, and everybody is putting their hand up, they're shouting their points. And somewhere along there, you're just like, hey, okay, if this is expectation and this is how I'm showing up, there's a way in which I need to, and
up my game.
For for a period of time there, it wasn't me, it was the person that they expected to show up in that setting. And what happens that when you have multiple, and this is talking to the multiple masks that you wear, because we are making an assumption that you're only wearing one mask, but you could actually
Yeah,
wear
there
a
are
mask
many.
to
There are many.
There's a mask I wear to the office where it is, I've got this, I've got it together, I'm confident, I have the
I'm
answers,
okay.
I'm okay. And then there's another one where if you're in a comfort setting with your friends, that one is for, whatever, man, I'm easy. And then when you're a mother, again, you're trying to figure it out. And then it's a different mask that you have as a mother and one that you have if you're married, if you have a partner, or if you're even
so
dating,
yeah.
So you're constantly wearing different types of masks. And it's exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting because I think it's easy to lose sight of who you are, what you're about, what are the things that are important for you. Not to say that work, career, children are not, but what are the things that for me makes Watau tick, that gives me, outside of everything else, just makes Watau happy.
Yeah.
And for me, it's one of those things is this kind of spaces. And remember, I was a control person. So this kind of spaces was for, why are you crying? What is it?
Yeah.
Like, you have to put it together. You need to be strong. Like, my expectation of people was you need to show up strong. But now I'm realizing you don't have to show up strong, by the way. No.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So I've allowed myself to not be strong. I've allowed myself to sometimes to cry in a safe space, not just anywhere.
Yeah.
And allowing other women to just be, and it's
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
because those masks are many
Yeah.
and they're exhausting.
Yeah.
They're exhausting. And I don't know what the women out there, I don't know what masks you're wearing. I don't know what the underlying fear is. But my prayer is that we can get to a space in which each one of us does not need to feel that they have to wear a mask to their office. They have to wear a mask in front of their families. That you're comfortable with a set of friends. And I think, and this circles back also to who are the friends that you have that speak to the essence of you, that call you out, but also that encourage you. Because when you have a community of friends and family that are holding you up, then I don't need to be somebody else with them.
Yeah, that matters as well.
I can just be, and they'll be like, today you don't look yourself, but it's okay, what's going on, They'll prop you up or they will call you out, but either way, there is no need for that mask, So I think that would be the other thing is just understanding who are the people around me and who am I trying to impress.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Impress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I
That
agree.
shows up a bit.
Yeah, like who am I trying to impress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to be okay.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of courage.
It does.
It does. It does.
It does.
It takes a lot of courage
does.
just to be. I am also trying to impress my kids. Like, we are always assumed that we're impressing our peers. But even our children.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a certain way I need to show up as a mother.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. We assume that it's someone better than us or someone who's our peer, but no, we're constantly trying to impress people around us.
Yes.
There's an image you try to portray as a daughter because you want your mother to have a certain image about you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Your siblings,
That's, yeah.
your friends,
Yes.
your
Spouse,
boss,
yeah.
your spouse.
Yeah, your spouse.
You
as
know,
well.
what does that look like? Every day we are putting on a different mask. So underneath, and it's okay to want to show up and show up well, but it shouldn't hinder who we are truly inside.
Take away from.
Or take away from, So the question is who around us encourages us to be without having to force ourselves to carry the mask. So I don't know, do you have those kind of communities?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm building it. Yeah, because also I feel I've also gone through a transition. Something about the whole process of also putting that down, the mask down. I've realized I've had to also now meet myself and this person and realizing there are things I would do, not because I actually liked them, but it's because of, the friends that you kept or the perception that you had created out there.
Yeah.
And realizing, the season I'm in, I actually don't enjoy being in loud spaces or being all over the place. I just want to be in my house.
Right.
Or I enjoy those such conversations. I actually don't want to take that road trip, please.
Yeah. No.
And I just want that comfort. There are certain things that I want. So I've also had to, it's come with also like transitioning and being okay with knowing that the community that I had, I now have to build a new one.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a very deep perspective.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being okay with that. I was telling Jenny, for the longest time I used to think your childhood friends will always be your lifelong friends. And I had the fear that I would not be able to make new friends.
Right.
And realizing we are always making new friends.
Yep, that's true.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I also used to think that you can't make friends as you grow later in life.
Yeah.
And I mean, when did I meet you, Jenny? Have we known each other, what, 3, 4 years now?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And she shows up, we show up for each other.
Yeah.
And there are a few other friends I
You're
can
such
name
good
who,
friends.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think maybe even later in life, it's because you know who you are, right? I'm no longer looking to impress.
Yeah.
So I decided these are the kind of friends I would like in my life. I'm
Yeah.
also willing to take the risk.
Yeah.
Because making new friends and going deep is also taking a risk.
It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
It's saying,
It
I think I can trust you.
Yeah.
So I am going to be as real as possible without this mask,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
makeup. This is who I am, and I can tell it to
Yeah.
you. And she takes it.
Yeah.
It's both ways.
It's both ways,
It's both
yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
You know, so you can make friends, but older, I think they become deeper and faster. Then now we are not trying to impress anybody else.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's who I am. So take it or
Yeah.
leave it.
So, someone once told me you must always have older friends because of the wisdom and experience they bring. Even the Bible
Yeah,
alludes to
it's
that.
biblical.
The
Yes.
older
Yeah.
women sitting with the younger ones
And teaching them.
and teaching them. And you must always have younger friends
Yeah.
because of the youthful aspect, and for you to just to keep up with where they're at, and you know, keep up with your youthful side, because it's very easy to get caught up with the
That's true.
where you're at and just
Yeah.
moving along with that. And so I find that so refreshing, because you hang out with a young person and you can't believe their way of thinking, their way of doing things.
Yeah.
And to be honest, this day and age, even in the workspaces, their way of doing things is very different.
Huh?
They work efficiently, not not
Not too
hard.
much.
We were taught to work hard.
That's
So
true.
there's so much to learn from.
Yeah.
And friendships, you keep making new friends. And seasons, some friends
And
drop off, and it's
seasons.
okay. It is okay.
Yeah.
It is okay. Seasons.
And
are
it's
fine.
important to recognize the seasons as well.
Yes,
You
yes.
know? And seasons of masks. You know, what do you think about it? Because
Yes.
sometimes
Yeah.
a time comes and you don't need to be that person
Yes.
anymore. You know, you
Oh,
don't need
yeah.
to carry that.
Yes.
I think our last season was very hard. We had
Last year.
it's almost 2 years of losing loved ones. It was
Yeah.
such a hard season.
Yes.
And I think, and the mask I was carrying then was, of course, the one that I was wearing was just about control and showing up and being present and fixing. But this year I was like, hey, that season, like, God, please give us rest. You know, give us
I
rest.
love that.
We just want to
Season
be in a
of
season for,
rest.
we are going. Tunaenda wapi?
Yes. Where we
Where we going?
Yeah.
Where we going?
Yeah.
You know, because life happens and you have no control over those things that will come your way that are hard.
Yeah.
But you have control over the things that you can sit and intentionally plan to be with people that you love, celebrate life, celebrate you.
Yeah.
I like what you said about meeting yourself, you know? and
Yeah.
Just say, hi, I'm Watao and I have no mask.
Yes.
And I'm okay with
And
not
I'm
having
okay
a
with that.
mask, you know? And I'm okay with not controlling. So I think the recognition of seasons, of friends, and the depth in which you create
Yeah.
that. And also allow people to be without judgment.
Without
because
judgment.
at Hearth and Hearth, it's really about not judging. It's about hearing, it's about seeing the lady, hearing her, not judging her, and not offering advice. You know, we're very
Listen.
quick.
Oh,
eh?
yeah.
Fixers.
We are like,
Yeah.
Have you?
have you tried?
Have you
Have
tried?
you tried this? You
Yeah.
know? And that makes the
Yeah,
person
we
also
are.
wear the
Oh my
mask, right? Because
gosh.
they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I should have thought about that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So the next time I tell you something, I have to be a little bit more guarded in how I say it,
Yeah.
because then I'll appear as if I didn't think through
Yeah.
it. So here we listen, we encourage, you know, and we don't intend to advise. We don't judge you.
don't
We
judge.
don't judge you. And I'm so happy I have those kind of friends where they don't judge me. I show up as I am, comfortably. I don't know what my next season of life looks like. You know, I am closer to the other side than to this other side.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm happy that I can walk in with friends who just know me for who I am. But also even more proud that I do not feel the need to have to hide anymore. I don't need to hide.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you're hiding from. I don't know what that root fear is. But I also pray that you can have friends around you who you can be with and really be. You know, and speak your heart, you know, and that they would listen. And sometimes I ask, when we expect that of our friends, are we that person? Are we the ones who are extending that opportunity to speak, for them to just talk their heart out? Are we willing to listen? Are we willing to just see them and hold them? Or are we willing to, you know, are we quick to judge or advise? So I'm hoping that you, Liz and Jenny, I know for a fact the two of you sitting here are those friends who are willing to listen without judgment, you know, without feeling the need to have to advise me. Though advice is good, by the way, guidance is good, but sometimes the person just feels
to be had.
have a space to and be seen, and that allows them to have to show up differently from who they truly are. So I do pray that as ladies, that we would learn or have a space where we can put our masks down. That whether you're a fixer or a therapist or a mother or a leader, whatever label you carry, whatever mask you wear, that underneath that you have the confidence that you are enough. You're not too much, neither you too little or too late. And that also you have a community of friends at Hearth and Heart who will see you, hear you, not judge you, but listen to you and encourage you. And that's a space that we are creating. And thank you for sharing this space with me today. And looking forward to the next discussion with you ladies. And until then, we rise together, we gather, and we glow.
And we glow.
And we glow.
Thank
Cheers
you,
then.
Mama.
Thank you
for
so
the
much.
opportunity
It
to be
was
here.
loved it.
Happy.